All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about Errol Spence Jr., who sadly pours a little water on the reports that his fight with Terence Crawford is a done deal. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division. Once again, talking about the biggest fight in boxing. Reports were released yesterday from Mike Carpenter, where Mike Carpenter gave information from multiple sources about about the details of the Errol Spence Jr. fight and when that fight was going to take place. Errol Spence Jr. responds to that in a way that is cryptic, but yet disturbing. Now, before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber and supporter to the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos, which we pretty much do on a daily basis in the live stream and the video format. Also, if you're a longtime subscriber and you really do feel like supporting the channel, you can do that by joining our Patreon, or you can hit that super thanks, which a little heart right down there by the comment where you leave your comments. But let's get into this. Mike Carpenter, for the second time, released information from inside sources that the fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford was virtually done. The first time that he did it was, I do believe, in July. It was either June or July. And what he said was essentially that all material terms had been agreed to, and they were just wrapping up the negotiations, and that the fight would be, I do believe originally he said it would be in October. So yesterday, Mike Carpenter did the same thing, pretty much released the same information and said, according to multiple sources, the fight is finalized, or both parties have agreed to all material terms, and the fight will be held on November 19th in Las Vegas. That's what Mike Carpenter said. So he said it 2 times. Now, the first time that he said it, Floyd Mayweather Jr. came out and said that's not true. The first person you'll hear it from is me, or you'll hear it from Fight Hype, right? And then pretty much everybody started blowing off the report. Now, today, Errol Spence Jr., well, actually yesterday, right after all of the news hit and everybody started going bananas about it, Errol Spence Jr. put out an emoji that had a yawning face on it. Right. So basically, you know, leaving it up to people to determine what it is that he means when he's yawning at that news. Okay, so obviously it's boring him. He's been there, done that, whatever the case is. He didn't do what he originally did, which is retweet what Mike Carpenter said, right? What he did this time is he was like, yeah, somewhat like, okay, here we go again, right? So is the fight actually agreed to, or is the fight not agreed to? Well, if you read Mike Carpenter's, and I said this on my video yesterday, if you read Mike Carpenter's actually what he said is he said that they've agreed to all material terms and that they still have not signed the contract. They're waiting on the lawyers to clean up the language. So at the very much, you know, Terence Crawford is not signed for that contract. Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford is not signed and agreed to what is on that contract. Errol Spence Jr. is not signed and agreed what's on that contract. And Errol Spence Jr. is looking bored about it. Now, here's the funny thing to me. Everything that has been said by Mike Carpenter has been said and leaked by a bunch of different YouTube channels. Literally nothing that he said was new, right? He talked about the rematch clause, and the rematch clause being appointed contention in the negotiation. So what happened before? Multiple channels, myself included, reported that was one of the issues, because that's what I had heard, right? But it is real funny how if somebody other than Mike Carpenter would, or somebody that is a mainstream media person would have released this information, everybody would be looking at them like something was wrong with them, like you're making it up, your sources aren't true. See, it didn't happen when you said it was going to happen. But when Mike Carpenter or Dan Rayfield or Lance Pugmire reported, everybody just runs with it as if it's the truth, even though they have been reporting the same thing other people are reporting the entire time, with none of the backlash aimed at them, all of the backlash aiming for other people that said the same thing. And by the way, other people would say the same thing before they did. Right. So it was like, OK, man, all right, you're going to believe anything and everything that comes out of mainstream media, even though there's been a bunch of times when they have been wrong about things. Specifically, I can remember when Dan Rayfield announced that the fight between Luis Ortiz, Luis Ortiz and Dillian White was a done deal. I believe it was Luis Ortiz and Dillian White was a done deal because of inside sources, right? But then what happens? Dillian White goes off and fights somebody else, and the fight never happens, right? Now, I'm not saying that this fight's not going to happen. I don't know whether it's going to happen or not. In the videos that I did reporting on what Lance Pugmire had said the day before, and which is different, honestly, really different than what Mike Carpenter said, because they said that they are still, Lance Pugmire the day before said that multiple sources told him that they were still in conversations. They were still engaged in that conversation, and that there was still, and that talking to the networks, bids were competitive. So I'm not sure how in one day from between Lance Pugmire to Dan Ray, to Mike Carpenter, that we went from a situation where they were still engaged in conversations and the bids were competitive, the network bids were competitive, to this deal is all the way done and all we need is just to have the lawyers are just cleaning up the language. These are two respected journalists that in literally one day from each other have starkly different reports about what's going on. And Errol Spence Jr. releases a yawning emoji to it. So we will see what is going to take place, man. I'm sure that they have agreed to a lot of the terms. Hopefully they are correct, that they just need to clean up the language of the agreement. Now, from my experience, man, a lot of things can happen when you are cleaning up the language of an agreement, which basically means that they have not come to agreement, because you have to literally get that last draft in your hand and go through the last draft, sign the last draft for the thing to be done. But anyway, man, I'm just trying to update you on what's going on. Don't get mad at me. Real funny, however, though, I just found it real funny in my comment section how people literally, and I didn't respond to anybody in my comment section about it because I just didn't want to do it, but they were like, now this is news. The rest of that was just gossip. Really? This is news. The rest was gossip. This isn't any more gossip than the other one was. The only difference is that Mike Carpenter put it out. But here's the thing. Mike Carpenter put it out before, and then it was done in October. Was it gossip when he did it before? Whatever, man. Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out.